Hello, and welcome to Let's Play Spellcasting 101. Where we left off, while I'm still awake, I was gonna look at all the stuff in my room and just to show you what it says, and then tomorrow I guess we'll try to squeeze in our first class. So there's a random. Give me control. Examine chess set, random chess set. You'd probably play chess more often if you had more time, and if you didn't usually lose in 7 turns, and if you weren't missing a third of the pieces. Naturally, in your huge mess that is your room, we have a desk. Each dorm room is equipped with a desk under the theory that students will work and study at them. How naive, huh? Let's open that desk. You rummage through the desk but find nothing of interest. Let's examine the dirty laundry. You've discovered that by wearing underpants 5 times and by wearing socks 8 times, you can go almost 3 weeks without having to do laundry. Lovely. Let's examine the empty can. The can once contained food, or a drink, or some soap powder. It's hard to tell anymore. I'm just seeing some. Alright. Let's examine my bed. You really ought to change the sheets one of these months. Hey, alright, so you're getting really sleepy. I think next time you just pass out. So let's look at old handouts. If you didn't look at those handouts when your grades depended on it, you're certainly not going to look at them now. Let's examine the old pizza. You hardly ever finish a pizza, and you hardly ever dispose of the leftovers. It's a shame. Love pizza. Oh, I guess that's it. So at this point, there might be other things you can do in your room. I don't know. I'm just gonna sleep. You slide to the floor and fall asleep. You are in a boudoir surrounded by a bevy of stunning, perfectly tanned babes in skimpy bikinis. "Ooh, Ernie!" they squeal. "You're so good at magic! Show us again how you cast a bip spell!" They crush against you, pressing their generous bosoms against your suddenly naked chest. You wake up rested, refreshed, and somewhat covered with drool. So again, you're back in your room, and you see your stuff here that I think was in your inventory before. I just want to see something. Yeah, so you drop all your stuff when you go to sleep, except for like 2 things, so take all. You take the registration form, the spell book, the notebook, and the pack of cigarettes. So I'm gonna call this day 2. Alrighty, so we're basically gonna go to class. So what class do we have? At 9:30, and today's a Wednesday, so at 9:30 we have Spellcasting 101, the title, with Professor Warty Toad. So that's where we're gonna go. And I'm kind of glad I got to show you like more than one. So they're back in the Emporium and car thieves or whatever. So yeah, I got to show you 2 of his waking up sequences, and the fact that he is incredibly horny. Oh, there's more newspapers. So I guess. So let's take paper. Read newspaper. Okay, so yeah, read news. A wriggling worm, famed mage, dead at 110. Walter Wrigglingworm, called the greatest sorcerer of his time, died of unknown causes yesterday at his home in Barfton. Wrigglingworm was a former dean of SU's School of Applied Spellcasting. He retired to Barfton in 1018, citing poor health. A famous and widely respected magician and scientist, Wrigglingworm is credited with the development of over 80 new spells, including the world's first level 8 spell. Wrigglingworm is survived by 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and 13 great-grandchildren. So let's read editorials. Administration. Students should work together. Recent weeks have been several confrontations between the administration and various student groups. The erection of shanties in Backguano Court to protest the treatment of avocado harvesters in Port Curdle, the decision to increase the spell lab requirement for sophomores to 15 hours per week, and the controversy over a fraternity party ban that some find offensive. These incidents would be more swiftly and peacefully resolved through discussion instead of confrontation, since the energy expended. On second thought, who cares about these dumb protests anyway? The only thing worse than the stupid, petty toads who run this school are the spoiled little brats who go here. Best thing would be if ya all killed each other. Ha ha ha. Let's read arts. Editor sick. The arts editor was sick today, so he couldn't write nothing. Sorry, he's probably gonna be better real soon, so don't worry. You notice Professor Ticking Clock waving to you. Ernie, my boy, don't forget that, don't forget that you're having dinner with me tonight. We'll expect you up at the suite at around 7:30, and we'll, what were you saying? He creaks away, mumbling to himself. Okay, I gotta make sure I don't forget that, because... yeah, let's take care of that tonight, if at all possible. And so let's read the last section was sports. 2 killed as ocelots fall to pumas. 2 SU horsemen were fatally injured yesterday as the ocelots were devastated in their mega joust against the clearly superior Paladin University pumas. The loss was decisive, with a final score of 42-29. In a match that also featured a death on the visiting team, the ocelots saw 6 players go down with injuries and staggered under the weight of no less than 12 falls. The contest featured 3 one-on-ones, a triple joust, a quadruple joust, and the standard final free-for-all. The continuing rash of deaths bring the season's total of fatalities to 7. Coach Marty Beads of Sweat expressed concern that there could be a drop-off in the number of students showing up for tryouts. The loss leaves the Ocelots just a game out of the cellar, ahead of only the Puffballs of Hairdresser University. Okay, so I think we're going to go to the office of Ticking Clock. Why not? This is Professor Ticking Clock's office, with exits to the south and southwest. Strange curios and trophies adorn the crowded walls and overstuffed shelves. An old mahogany desk guarded by time fills half the office. So we have half an hour, which, looking around, would totally use up more than that. So I'm just going to show you stuff around. Sometimes he's in this office, and I think you can talk to him about stuff. He has information that's like relevant to actually, beating the game. So he's worth speaking to. Let's see. Let's look at his books. There are some scholarly journals and ancient tomes on the shelves. Let's examine the chair. The chair looks elegant but comfortable. Let's examine the desk. The desk is antique but beautifully maintained. Let's open desk. You rummage through the desk but find nothing of interest. Let's examine the fire, and don't worry about the time, I'll just restore. If you've seen one fire, you've seen them all. Examine the fireplace. Cheerful fire burns in the fireplace. There's paintings. Examine them. The paintings are various poses of the professor's young wife, Hillary. He is obviously totally devoted to her, and based on what you can see, for very good reason. A bell rings, signifying the start of the morning class. Alright. And is there anything else? Popular book, office. Shelves, I think, just does the same thing as the books. And window. You can always look at the window. And through the window, you see the landscaped grounds of the campus. Okay, so I might end this a bit soon, because I like to leave more time for the actually, I'm just looking here, because you can also click things on there. Okay, alright, that's just not a hotspot. Alright, so southwest. So we're gonna have our spellcasting class Yeah, I just can't think of anything else to waste time right now, so I'm going to end this video early. And next time we will have Spellcasting 101, the class. I'll